What's up, YouTube? Real quick, just want to say I appreciate and love all the support you guys been giving me. I appreciate all the subs. I got a lot more videos on the way. And yeah, stay tuned in and hopefully I'll bring some value to you. But today's video, I want to talk about the topic of pain. I was journaling about it today, literally right before I started doing this video, and that's why I decided to just make it. And I got on the topic of pain, and one of the points I came up with was that a lot of us have normalized the pain that we went through to the point that we don't even care about it. Now, myself, I personally went through this. I reflected on my past, on my childhood and things like that, experiences I went through in life, and reflected, how did this truly affect me? What did I normalize in my life that just shouldn't be normalized? What do I not value because I never received it, and so I don't properly even know that it's a valuable thing. For me, it was things like support, or people believing in me, people just complimenting me, or people allowing me to be vulnerable and things like that. As a kid, I never had that space. I always dealt with things on my own, and I never recognized how valuable and important it is to have a space where you could actually talk about what you really got going on, or be able to accept support from people and it actually means something. I feel like a lot of us as kids, or a lot of people in general as kids, went without the important major things, which is support or love, or maybe they received love, but it was only at the cost of an accomplishment, getting good grades. But if they didn't get good grades or do well in a sport, they didn't receive that love. So now they perceive love as oh, I gotta earn it. I gotta deserve love in order to even be able to accept it. And that's not normal. A lot of the things, just thinking, there's so many kids out here, there's so many people in general who went through things as kids, and they had to normalize the pain that they once felt and just make it a point where it was that's just how life is. That's just a part of life, and you can't expect to receive that ever. And how it affects us is we don't know how to reciprocate that pain that we once felt. We don't know how to reciprocate the thing that we never received. So some people literally don't know how to love others. Some people don't know how to support others. Some people don't know how to show they care. Some people don't know how important telling someone you believe in them is, because they never received it. So they say that's just what comes of life. That you can't expect that out of people, because I never received that and I had to go about life without it. So now I don't even know how to give it out, because it's something I'm not familiar with. I don't know the value or the importance of it. And I think once upon a time, when we were kids, we may not remember the exact moment, but I think at one point in time we felt that pain. We felt the pain of not receiving love. We felt the pain of being rejected, or not feeling supported, not feeling that we can trust and be vulnerable and talk about the issues in which we're going through, or talk about how we feel. And at some point we just had to normalize it. We had to learn to just move on with life with it, because life moves on. You can't sit here and complain about it all day, every day. Eventually it just has to be, you get in the mindset of it is what it is. And not only does that put us in this state of not being able to reciprocate certain energies that people give out, love and support to other people because we never received it, but it also trains us to kind of run from our pain. When maybe you got love as a kid, but then you get in a relationship and you get fucked up, you might get fucked over, you express yourself and they use it against you, you got manipulated, it made you have trust issues, you get in the mindset of I never want to love again, relationships aren't for me. You go through experiences in life to where you run from your pain, you run from the problems in which you face, and you kind of just bury them as far deep down as you possibly can, because you don't know how to deal with it. You just feel the feeling in the moment. I've been there before. I've been at a point where I was depressed over a person, or I lost a person, or someone said something to me or made me feel some type of way, and it kind of just it is what it is. I'm not gonna allow anyone to do that ever to me again. I'm not gonna put myself in a situation to ever feel that again. I'm never gonna be vulnerable again, where you kind of just run from your pain. You just get in this state of burying it as far deep down as you can, and you end up avoiding any situations in which you could possibly feel that pain again. And so what that does is it creates a limit within ourselves from placing ourselves in certain situations. Like, we allow that one outcome in which we experience to limiting us from ever experiencing that thing again. Like, some people have made up their mind in their 20s they're never getting in relationships again. Some people have made up their minds in their 20s they never expect support, or they aren't trying to start a business, or they aren't trying this, or they are trying that, because they got the results in the past and they felt the results. They felt the emotions that came with the results. They felt the feeling that came with the results. Whether that might have been depression, that whether it just might have just been self-doubt, that might have just been how they viewed themselves, and they just lost all their confidence to the point that that sole outcome now controls them. Like, you could either take control over your pain, the pain you feel, or let it control you. And those people specifically have now allowed pain to control their life. It makes them not even put themselves in certain situations because there's always that chance. Like, yeah, like it could go well for a minute or it could go well temporarily, but they're always expecting that worst case outcome. And they felt it once upon a time, and they saw what it did to their life, and now they're like, I never want to experience that again, which rightfully so. But I think you have to get an understanding of, you may not have dealt with it in the best way. You maybe didn't process your pain. You didn't properly heal from it. You didn't want to take the time to heal from it because you were too impatient and just didn't want to feel anymore. So you buried it as far deep as you could and put it in this box where you no longer want to allow it out. You never want that feeling or that emotion to ever get out into your body again. But I think you have to get in the mindset of understanding that the outcome in which you received isn't always the outcome. Like, there's ways in which you can heal from relationships. There's ways in which you could process, like, don't deal with these type of people anymore. Or, maybe you see the red flags and you take note of the things. Like, you learn from your pain. Like, there's ways in which you can learn from your pain, and there's also ways in which you can use your pain to your advantage. When I personally got hurt, where I was like in that state of depression, or in that state of just being lost and not knowing exactly what to do, and kind of just like hating the world and not wanting to deal with anybody, it eventually came a day where I let that become my drive, and now my pain has turned into my purpose. Like, what I went through allowed me to tell a story and learn so many different things, to where now I can offer inspiration to the world. I can offer value to other people. I take note, and I love learning about things like trauma, discipline, self-limiting beliefs, and things like that, to where now I can take my story and take everything I've been through, all the pain in which I experienced, and offer it out to the world in a different perception and understanding, and offer a different way of approaching these different situations, rather than letting them create limiting beliefs that make you scared to go out and do certain things out of fear of feeling again. And pain comes in so many different ways. Like, it doesn't even have to be limited to just love or just like having people support you. Like, and pain can come in so many different ways. Like, it's not just limited to love or people believing you. Like, it could come from loss, it could come from failure, it could come from not even knowing what to do, it could come from having to change. Like, when you have to change yourself, or when like you look within yourself and you reflect on yourself and you say, this part of my personality needs to be changed, or it can be better. I might be selfish. I might not care to understand other people and where they're coming from. I might be closed-minded to where I don't try to understand different perceptions. And then you have to like reflect on yourself and be like, I need to change that aspect of my life. I need to grow in that area of my life, to where then you have to be vulnerable. Like, it's an ego thing. Like, to sit there and admit to yourself that, damn, I need to reshape my life. The way I've been living is wrong. Like, I don't have it all figured out like I always told myself I had. I'm not living life in the best way like I always said I have. I'm not treating people the best way like I always thought I was. Because sometimes that reality check where you have to admit those things to yourself hurts a lot. And then you have to then place yourself in a position where you have to start learning, where you're putting yourself into the unknown, and you're kind of trying to rebuild yourself, and then you're prone to making mistakes. Like when you're trying to become somebody you've never been before, you're trying to develop habits you've never been before, you know, there's failure on that journey. There's times where you're not going to know exactly what to do. There's going to be times where you don't know if you're doing things right, where you always had the ego of feeling like you knew everything, and now you're in a position where you literally know nothing. And so now you're in the position of, you know, you got to reflect, you got to fall down and pick yourself back up, you got to learn from your failures. You know, sometimes that's painful. Sometimes experiencing failure, that hurts some people. Like it hurts their ego. And so what happens is they get in this way of living to where they are unwilling to change, not because they don't want to change, but they fear the pain that comes with the process of changing and becoming somebody new. And all that comes from how you perceive it, how you're willing to deal with it, if you're willing to take the time to deal with it, like your patience level, because the reality of it is, in life, pain is literally necessary. Like it is necessary for you to go through certain events in order to learn certain lessons and get exposed to things that you were never exposed to before. And 9 times out of 10, the first time you experience it is going to hurt so much more than like if you experience it ever again. Solely because usually the first time you experience it, you either never heard of it, you never experienced it, you don't know exactly how to navigate it, you didn't know the exact emotions that come with it, and it kind of just like sneaks up on you and hits you like a fucking train to where it's like, damn, this is what that says. I don't even know how to deal with this. I don't know how to cope with this. I don't know how to manage this and heal from it. And so it's like a constant process of learning, and some people aren't able to overcome that. That's why some people end up just burying it as far as they can. That's why some people get in the state of being unwilling to change, because new pain is hard to manage for many. But yeah, pain is something serious that a lot of us are going through, whether consciously or unconsciously. I think it's important that you take the time to reflect. Like, truly sit there with your thoughts and reflect on what you've normalized as not having in your life. And I wrote this down in my journal. I have it right here. And it's that you're going to struggle to reciprocate something that you never received. So like, you're going to struggle to give out love if you never receive love. You're going to struggle to give out support if you never receive support, because you don't understand the value and the significance of those things. And so when people give you love, when people eventually do give you support, you don't know even how to properly accept it, because it's something new to you. You don't know, like, when people give you love, you know, you should reciprocate that love back. You don't know how important or rare it is for people to actually support you, and how you should value those type of people and make sure you keep them around you and treat them well and things like that. Like, you overlook the value of certain things because, like, it's new to you. You don't know that it's something rare. You don't know that it's something important and something that could genuinely, like, help you become a better person or make you feel good about yourself. So I think it's important that you just look back on your past, look on the things that you have normalized, and like heal from those things, change your perception on them, allow them to come into your life and truly learn like the value and importance of them. And then when you do go through experiences and you do experience that pain, you do experience like life-changing events where things do hurt you, and gain the understanding of that's not always the outcome. That's not how things always have to go. Learn from them, heal from them, gain a different perception on them, learn the lessons and who it's trying to make you turn into. Like, the pain I went through, like, turned me into who I am today, like, because I took the time to actually learn from it. I was actually looking for the good in it and how it changed me as a person into a better version of myself. And so you have to truly just look for the good in situations that the world tells you that you should perceive as bad. So find the good in certain situations, find the good in your pain, find the good in your trauma, and find how to turn it into a way that serves you in life instead of limiting you and creating fears within yourself. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hopefully you learn a lot of value from this video. Again, I appreciate all the recent love and support. Go join up on the Discord. You can also shoot me a DM on Instagram. Let me know you're coming from YouTube. I'll make sure to hit you back and thank you. But yeah, pain is a beautiful thing, but it could also be something that's really traumatic. But at the end of the day, it's your choice and how you choose to perceive it. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Peace.